Highguard is shutting down. This is a game that I had a friend of the channel, Lord Blazer. He wanted me to play this just because he thought it'd be funny to watch me torture myself playing it. I didn't want to play it. I'm sorry. You would have to pay me a lot of money to want to play some slop like this. I'm not joking. Somebody would have to pay me a ton of money to play slop like this. Sorry, I'm not playing stuff like this unless it's worth my time. I'm not torturing myself unless I feel like it's worth my time. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. No thanks, will you piss off? Yeah. So Highguard to go offline after rapid player drop. Like they started with a lot of players. They started with a lot and then just went just down. Just and that was it. That was it. What the hell is this down here? Oh yeah, that stuff. Yeah. So Highguard found itself in the spotlight of the online video game discourse back in December during the Game Awards show when host Geoff, it's supposed to be Jeff, but Jeff is Jeff. Please stop. That's Geoff Kelly made a special introduction for the game's trailer, which came very late in the show, a time reserved for some of the night's biggest reveals. The next day, there were questions as to what this free-to-play multiplayer shooter from a new studio was. Now, less than 2 months after its release, Highguard is being shut down. It's another one of those games that's copying another game. It's like, why? And they don't really do anything new with it. They don't really come up with anything that makes it different enough that people are going to want to jump to it. And that's the problem with a lot of games like this that are coming out. It doesn't have any reason to exist. It's so weird that Jeff Keighley did that. It's like, oh my god, which came very late in the show, a time reserved. The next day, there were questions as to what this Freedom Rainbow Player studio was. Now, listen, 2 months later, Highguard is being shut down. Developer Wildlight Entertainment posted on X about Highguard shut down on Tuesday. The developer says it was unable to gain the player base it needed to get the game going, and it will shut down servers on March 12th. Why would you spend so much money developing shit like this and expect it to do well? Stop it! Stop! These kind of games shouldn't freaking exist. Stop trying to copy other people. The best games that come out are the ones where people think up something. They come up with some new gameplay mechanic, or they come up with something that sets it apart. What do you think? See, here it is. They're following the same formula that we used to do back in the 80s and 90s. You know, it started with Super Mario Bros. And then we started getting other 2D side-scrollers, right? It started with Super Mario Brothers, and then well, maybe not necessarily Super Mario Brothers. The OGs know that it started with a little game called, well, I can't even remember the name of it now. Oh, Jesus. What the hell was that game called? Pitfall. There we go. Pitfall. Sorry, didn't have it. Pitfall. Pitfall. It started with Pitfall. But after those games, we started seeing just a wave of games that were side-scrolling games, but they were different. Each game kind of had different mechanics. They weren't all trying to be the next Super Mario Brothers. They weren't directly copying Super Mario Brothers. The only thing they took from Super Mario Brothers was that the game moved from left to right, and that a character moved and did things. But what the character did was different. What the gameplay mechanics consisted of was different. So we had games, and I'm going to go off a list of games real quickly from like Konami. We had Castlevania, my favorite series. You know, and even though you were moving left to right, he was jumping and whipping things and everything. And then tossing sub-weapons and whatnot. It wasn't quite like Super Mario Brothers. You know, they didn't have the really high jumps and whatnot. The series evolved. It became a pretty big series for a while. Then there's, of course, another game from Konami, Contra. Again, and even when you don't look at games like that, you look at games that are more like whimsical platformers. We had the Adventure Island series. Let's look at the Adventure Island series real quickly. You moved from left to right, you jumped, but it wasn't quite the same, was it? You know, the jumping mechanics were different. There was no, of course, no shrinking, growing mechanic, anything like that. You'd hatch open eggs and pick up weapons from the eggs, so on and so forth, and you'd throw them and so on and so forth. It was different. It wasn't a direct copycat of Super Mario Bros., but they're trying to do that same thing with modern gaming, and you can't. Stop trying to be the next Fortnite. Stop trying to be the next, whatever that other game is called. I don't know. I don't care for these games. Maybe I'm part of the problem. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's them. Like, you have to really make things stand apart. You have to really have something that people are going to give a damn. And even then, you're not going to pull those players away from those games. Those games are established. That's it. That's all there is. You're not making money there. Stop trying to waste time. You're wasting development costs doing this crap. Come up with something new and original. Stop it. You're not, and this goes for Sony too. Sony tried the same BS with games like, I think, was it Concord? I don't know. I think it was Concord. And that failed miserably. Are you getting it through your heads? Are you getting it through your skulls? Are you understanding now? Stop developing games to be so expensive. You don't have to make games that expensive. Games don't have to be that expensive to make. A game needs to be one thing only: fun. That's it. Make something fun. You don't have to make it be some expensive, grand, open thing. But God damn, the industry is pissing me off. Oh, despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base. You're not going to. This goes for any future endeavors. Before you even start to develop a game like this, stop, pause, and look at what's going on. You cannot be the next anything. You can't be the next Fortnite. You can't be the next, whatever that other stupid game is. I can't remember. The one where they're supposed to be like superheroes of some sorts. I can't remember. Had a character named Chaser who was sassy at one point, would show her ass, and then people started complaining about that. That's so inappropriate. Oh my God, it's so sexualized. All these games, you cannot copy that. Stop copying. Stop it. Make new shit. Work on stuff you're passionate about. This is why indie is gaining traction. Anyhow, despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term. The studio said servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches in while we still can. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Since launch, more than 2 million. So they went from like 2 million players down to just a few hundred. Of course you did. Of course you did. People got in there and realized, oh, well, this is just another game just like the one I already liked. Are you going to listen to me? I'm just some bald doofus on the internet, but I think you should listen to me. I really do think you should listen to me. This doesn't work. You got to stop doing this. Oh, from 2 million to just a few hundred? Of course it tanked. You tried to just basically, it's like lightning in a bottle. You're never going to catch that lightning in a bottle again. Somebody else already caught the lightning in the bottle. You're not doing it next. You can't do it. Like, the likelihood of it is just, it's so unlikely. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy the remaining life of the game. We'll be adding a new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Full patch notes are coming. Blah 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 blah. In his review, of Highguard, CNET's David Lum described the game as a first-person shooter that had the lanes skirmish fighting found in multiplayer online battle arena games and base riding mechanics found in titles like Rainbow Six Siege. The developers described this new mashup as a raid shooter. Wildlight has since acknowledged that the initial showing of the game at the Game Awards didn't properly represent the game when the game was released. That's because most trailers are just cinematic-like. They're not really showing the gameplay, which is a problem. Stop making trailers that don't really show the gameplay and the nitty-gritty. Jeff, stop it. Oh, when the game was released on January 6th, Highguard started off strong. Nearly 100,000 people were playing the game on PC at launch. Oh, so they went from 100,000. My bad. I thought it was 2 million. No, they've had around 2 million players total. But yeah, not consecutively, of course. Okay, I get you now. Nearly 100,000 people were playing the game on PC at launch, according to Steam database. That number dropped significantly in the days that followed, and in the last week of February, it fell to slightly more than 400 a day. Things were looking bleak for Winlight for most of February as the player count dwindled. On February 11, members of the developer team posted on LinkedIn about layoffs, and the game's website went down on February 17th. Negative press is a hard stink to clean off, Lum said today. With gamers decide when gamers decide to hate a game, they'll sink in it. I don't think it's so much that they hate the game; they just don't care about the game. They were bored. They were like, this is meh. I don't really care. This is meh. When gamers decide to hate a game, they'll sink in it, especially if it doesn't have years of runway like No Man's Sky. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. That isn't it, and people aren't really hating it, as far as I know. They were just bored with it. You weren't really giving them anything they cared about. You're trying to copy other games. Just stop. On the R Game subreddit, in a thread about announcements, posters shared their problems with the game. Some pointed to dated visuals, while others said the gameplay was confusing and sorely needed refinement. Former Winlight developers told Bloomberg on February 26th that they felt it was the hubris of the studio leadership that led to the game's demise. It wasn't. The studio was made up of former members of the team that developed Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends, and they were not aware of how the gaming landscape had changed since those games were released. Winlight says it intends to continue updating the game and final blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should jump in and play this game a little more. I'm not. I don't have any interest in it. I didn't have any interest in it before. I looked at it, I was like, meh. Meh. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't care. I still don't care. I like I said, I had Lord Blazer Lord Blazer was trying to get me to play it, and I didn't bite. Sorry, you would have to pay me a pretty penny to get me to suffer through that crap. You would have to get me to pay a pretty penny to suffer through that. It's not going to happen. This should be a wake-up call to developers. Stop chasing other games. Stop trying to be the next something. That something already exists. People are going to play that. They don't care. These kind of gamers are getting bored with this. They don't care. You're not giving them anything really new, really exciting. And it's a free-to-play game, which then they want microtransactions. People are getting tired of microtransactions. They just want to buy a finished game. Like, the industry isn't getting this through their skulls. AAA isn't getting this through their skulls. People want a finished game. Again, I feel like, there's no excuse for it unless you're an indie game. When you're an indie game, I think you have more of an excuse. When you're a big AAA studio, there's no excuse. Get a finished game out there. Quit trying to milk gamers. We're not falling for it. Jesus.